Hello everyone, welcome back once again to CareerQ, a place to curate your career. So a few days back I had brought this video in which I discussed a lot about Mphasis, and I had said that I will be discussing the salary bit in another video. So today is the time and date. I will be discussing with you the entire salary structure that Mphasis follows, and if there is a bond amount, what is the bond amount, and how much you can expect when you complete 1 year, 2 year and 3 years down the line working within Mphasis. So a lot of informative content is coming up just for you. But before we start the video, let me tell you that in this channel we discuss all about tech updates, software updates and organizational updates. If any of these topics are of an interest to you, you might want to hit the subscribe button so that you do not miss another video from us. And with that being said, let's get started. So Mphasis is one organization that hires freshers in different roles from different colleges and from different places, and depending on the role for which you have been hired, your salary package might vary. So there are two starting salary figures that I will be discussing over here. So the overall figure with which Mphasis hires is from 3.25 to 4.5 LPA. There are different profiles in which they hire. In today's video, I will be discussing two such profiles and the starting figures of those profiles. That is the associate system engineer, which are hired at a starting salary of 3.25 LPA, and the associate developers, software developers, which are or who are hired at the salary of 3.5 LPA. Not much difference, and of course if you are hired at a bit higher compensation like 4 LPA or 4.5, then there will be a bit of a few thousands difference in your salary and the salary that I am discussing here in the video, so you can get a rough estimate of what you can expect once you are joining in. So first we will start with the associate software engineer, associate system engineer, the ASE position, which for which the freshers are hired at a starting CTC of 3.25 LPA. How much you can expect when we are considering your financial growth. So if you are hired as an associate system engineer at 3.25, then in your initial days, you will be considered to be an associate trainee, and you will be provided with 3 to 4 months of classroom training when your CTC will be only 2.5 LPA, and with that 2.5 LPA, you will be earning around 17K in hand salary. So, when your training is continuing, you will be an associate trainee and not an associate software or system engineer, which is why your CTC will be 2.5 lakh and your in-hand salary will be 17,000. After you complete your training successfully, after there are several exams in between, and of course a final exam in the end of the training. After you have completed that, then from now onwards, from this completion, now you become the associate system engineer. From trainee, now you are the engineer, and now your salary package of 3.25 LPA will start. So when it will start, your salary, in-hand salary, will increase from 17,000 to somewhere around 21 to 22K. Mostly what I have heard is between 21.6 or 1.8, that is K, that is how much people are getting. So after you have completed your training, it is somewhere in between 21 to 22K in hand that you will be getting. After you have been working for 1 year, now you have completed your 1 year, what will happen? There is a certain level of appraisal that will happen, and this appraisal, so there is this promotion that will happen for you guys, and now from associate system engineer or software engineer, you will become associate software developer. Okay, so your salary will increase from 3.25 LPA to 3.5 LPA, such that your in-hand salary will become now somewhere in between 24 to 25K. So that is how much you can expect once you have completed your 1 year within the organization. Next, there is another separate kind of appraisal that we see in Mphasis for these guys, which happens in the end of 1.6 years. So as soon as you have completed your 1.6 years within the organization, you will be again entitled to an appraisal, and this will be dependent on the rating that you are getting. So you will be working in a project. After your training is complete, you'll be working in a project. So how well you have performed in the project, that will be rated, and the rating is given from 1 to 5, where 5 is the best and 1 is the worst. So depending upon what is your rating, your hike will be decided, and your salary can now increase somewhere in between 3.8 to 4.2 LPA. Now this range depends on how much or what is the rating that you are getting. Okay, if you have got a 5 rating, that is the best of the best, then you can expect your salary to increase from 3.5 to 4.2 directly. And if it is lesser than 5, that is you have got a rating of 4 or a rating of 3, then somewhere in between 3.8 to 4.2 you will be getting. So your in-hand salary will now jump from 24-25k, it will now become somewhere in between 28 to 32k, depending upon your rating and the hike that has been given to you. Okay, so as soon as you complete 1.6 years, this will happen, and then again at the end of 2 years, again there will be an appraisal, and after this appraisal, your salary can increase, or your CTC will increase somewhere in between 4.5 to 4.8 LPA. That is how much you can expect at the end of 2 years. So you can see the number of times your salary is increasing. Okay, so yeah, we can say that the financial growth is good, it's not that bad. So at the end of 2 years, the salary package that you will be working for will be somewhere in between 4.4 or 4.5 LPA to 4.8 LPA, depending on, of course, the hike that is given, depending on your rating, depending on your project performance, your manager, everything. And a salary figure of something between 32 to 38k is what you can expect to get in hand. So that is actually a good figure at the end of 2 years. When you're starting from 21k, you're coming to, somewhere in between 32 to 38k. It is actually considered to be really good. So your in-hand salary will be somewhere in between 28 to 33k now. Okay, so after 2 years, you are starting from 21k, actually 17k when you are training, you are just a trainee, and then you are coming up to 28 to 32k. Now this is something that is a really good figure and a really good salary package that you can expect, in terms of financial growth within 2 years. If you're earning this much, it is actually considered to be really good. After you've completed your 3 years, you're working again from 2 to 3 years, and now you are sitting there in the end of 3 years, then again the annual appraisal will take place, and this will again be dependent on several factors: your rating, how your company has performed in that year, in that quarter specifically. Everything will come into picture, of course, and now you can expect your salary to increase somewhere in between 37 to 38k in hand. So after or in the end of 3 years, when you complete 3 years, now how much will you be earning? It will be somewhere in between 37 to 38k, and it really depends on your project performance, your rating, and other external factors, of course. But any which case, by the end of 3 years, you will be earning somewhere around 35, 36, that kind of figure. Your in-hand salary will be somewhere around that. Now, if you want as a gradual increase, this increase is considered to be really good. But if you want an exponential increase, then you might want to switch the organization after some time, because else this is how you will go on. Year increase will be something like this. And actually Mphasis gives a good hike, which we can see from the figures that I have discussed in the video. Okay, so this was the profile of associate software engineer. Now coming next to the profile of associate software developer who were hired at 3.5 LPA. Now these guys have a bond. That bond is for 2 years and 1 lakh rupees. So if any of you, or if any of these guys are leaving the organization before this before serving these 2 years of bond period, then you might have to pay the bond amount for the time that you have not served the organization. And what we can see is that within these 2 years, so the first 2 years, you will not get anything, any raise. Okay, there will not be any raise. Your enhanced salary will be somewhere in between 24 to 25k, and that figure will remain for the first 2 years of you joining in the organization. Okay, so this cycle is also called the fresher progression cycle, or the fresher progression period. These 2 years are called the fresher progression period for associate software developers, and you do not, or you will not be entitled for any raise, any hike for these 2 years. Once you have completed 2 years within the organization, now you will be entitled to a raise or a salary hike. And how much will it be? So after you're working for 2 years, and the kind of work that you have done, the rating that you have got from your manager, and how the company has performed, after considering each of those, your increment will be somewhere in between 3.8 to 4 LPA. And your in-hand salary, if we talk about that, then your in-hand salary will increase somewhere in between 27 to 28k. Okay, so initially for the first 2 years, you were in the CTC of 3.5 LPA, and your in hand was 24 to 25k. Now after 2 years, you are getting an appraisal, and you will now be getting somewhere around 4 LPA, and your in hand salary will be somewhere in between 27 to 28k. So that is how you will increase in 2 years. And then again, this will continue for the third year also. Again, based on the rating and based on the company's performance, your once you complete 3 years within the organization, the third year hike or the third year appraisal will be considered. And how much can you expect? So after 3 years, you can expect your CTC to increase from or in between 4.2 to 4.5 LPA, and so your in-hand salary will now increase to somewhere in between 30 to 32k. So that is how much you will be earning once you have completed 3 years in the organization, if you are joining in as an associate software developer. And I feel that this is a bit less. For 3 years, if you've been working in an organization, your salary should be increasing a bit more than what is the current figure. And hence, generally what we see is, as soon as people complete their bond period, they try to jump or they try to make a switch into some other organization, because financial growth is also one thing that you should consider. Okay, I know there are infinite people giving this gyan that financial growth is not something that you should look when you are a fresher. I'm also not saying that go only for the money, but at the same time, you cannot just neglect. It is one important part, and you have to treat financial growth as one important decision maker for being in an organization, for being in a job or not. Okay, so generally what we have seen is that once the people complete their bond period, they make a switch and they work for some other organization wherein they get a good hike and they get a good appraisal. So yeah, I hope that I have been able to give you an intimate or a hint of how the appraisal cycles, or how much you can earn within or after completing 1, 2, 3 years within Mphasis, if there is something that I have missed out, or there is something that I have not explained, or there's something that you are not convinced with, please put them down in the comment section so that everyone gets to know everything. And if there is any doubt or any request video that you want me to create, please put them down as well, so that I will definitely try to make a new video out of it. And if you want to connect with me one-to-one, come over to topmate.io. I will try to help you guys over there. I'm active and you can book a slot and we can have a healthy conversation depending on whatever doubts you have. So yeah, that's all that I have for you in today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you have not done that already. I'll come again tomorrow with another new video. Till then, stay tuned to CareerQ. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.